is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, and Print Masters.
There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on.
You've got it locked and loaded to the Tuesday, August 4th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. on this Tuesday, August 4th edition, post-holiday edition. Hope you had a good holiday. Enjoyed your holiday weekend as best you could. And MJ, I know you enjoyed yours.
I did. It was, for the most part, it was extremely hot, but, the time off was good. Got some rest.
So, yeah, you've been very diplomatic about it. Got some rest in some frickin' sweat. That's what it was.
I wasn't resting in the sweat. I was not You know how hard it is to sleep when it's really, really hot? And I know we sound so spoiled because, growing up, it's not like we had AC all the time and we made do, but my goodness, it is so much harder these days. And, it's difficult to rest sometimes. And I think I said this last week, but when we had that outage that started around 1 a.m. and went until like the next morning, I didn't get any sleep that night, like at all. It was hard.
An unusual torture.
Pretty much. This is cruel and unusual torture.
So we want to hear from you guys, though. We want to hear how your weekend was. The good, the bad, the ugly, and obviously, how you were affected by one of the power cuts, because obviously there was enough to go around and everybody was affected and feeling, and I think it was island-wide at one point. So let us know.
The people out west, the west end of they suffered a lot this weekend.
24 hours.
Couldn't even enjoy.
At one point, and then they put them back on and then said, well, hold on, y'all could be at another 15 hours in short order too, so do what you got to do.
Enjoy the holiday properly. And we're so stressed about so many things already. Yeah, it wasn't a great weekend for a lot of Bahamians here in the capital at all. It was rough.
So if you want to chime in and let us know, how it was for you over the weekend and be part of the conversation and be a talking head, here's how.
Here's how you can become a talking head. Brought to you by BTC.
Text lines powered by BTC, 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Phone lines open in New Providence, 323-6232. 325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free in any one of the Palm Islands, 247-20-242-300-50. Stream us live, take us wherever you want to go, GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's how you get it in. That's how you get it in for fresh news, smart talk all day, right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. So yeah, where do we begin?
Well,
where do we begin? Well, MJ, where we begin before we even get to the headlines. Let's get to the phone lines.
Okay.
Because they're already loaded, fully loaded. I knew this was it. Anyway, Talking Heads.
Naughty.
What's happening?
Naughty. Good afternoon, both you and MJ, right?
Good afternoon.
What's going on, Victoria?
You're to talk about what everybody been experiencing the whole weekend. But as if what is it called, Naughty? Or MJ, when the icing and on the cake, and like you just decide that there ain't enough icing on the cake with this press conference this afternoon, Naughty. Naughty, I need someone who's a comedian like you to play the press conference and then come back and
Wait, we got clips. We do have clips lined up for you. We do.
This got to be the most ludicrous thing I have ever heard. Like, dude,
You
you come
being
in
not calling
public.
it ludicrous. I was calling it unfreaky anyway. Believable.
Boy, naughty. The weekend was the weekend. You know, we went into the weekend understanding the weekend was going to be the weekend. But I
Right.
didn't expect the beginning of the week, like before now, but the press conference. We didn't expect the press conference. The press conference, I don't even know what to say. The press conference just leave us like flabbergasted, like, well, God sakes, like this. Like, if I'm really, just go to the beach.
So you're not going to the beach? That's what you're telling me?
I
You have a
mean,
problem going to the beach?
MJ, see, if we don't laugh, we can cry, right? We get
I
that,
mean-
or like Leslie said, we can sweat. I get that.
We will
It's-
sweat.
We cannot
Yeah.
really do nothing practically as a people to change it, but my God, the people who we paying y'all the big money and we paying the light bills, and they ain't, like, y'all could shaft us a little bit with a little bit more Vaseline than y'all.
Oh Lord. Okay. Okay. I can tell you're very, very yeah, you put out. You put out for sure.
Man, with all that sweat dripping, they figure you don't need no
Oh
Vaseline.
Lord. And then you
Sweaty.
compound on it. Okay.
Let's get
All
to the
right.
other calls. Talking heads.
Good afternoon, here.
GNN in the building.
GNN. Hello. Hello.
Welcome, GNN back in town.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I come this kind of time.
I am so glad to hear your voice, bro. What's
So
going
good to
on?
hear from you.
Listen to me, man. I landed 3.5 weeks ago on JetBlue. JetBlue, thank God the airport had generator because we landed with a partial island-wide blackout 3.5 weeks ago. But what really dampened my whole entire weekend was our boy Muff Roll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
man.
really would like to send special condolences, sympathies, everything to Muff, because when I was in trouble years ago, Muff was the first person to come and bail me out down at Blake Road. He came, he didn't even know me. He came to me, picked me up a couple of times, and dropped me back home so I could get my treatment. So I
Wow.
really love and miss him.
Muff,
you know
Muff
what I mean?
really thought the world of you too,
Oh,
man.
wow.
He made mention of you several times when you were away. That it bothered him that you had to go away for your treatment, man. That was the kind of
Yeah,
dude Muff was, man. Great
Yeah,
dude.
that was the boy. So may his soul rest in peace. Now, Mary J., I hear Naughty poking at us of the heat. Yes,
Yeah.
it was sweltering hot. But I got something on y'all that I know either of y'all encountered that really, really made this weekend for me horrible.
What happened?
I couldn't see. My phone was dead, right? I couldn't charge my phone. My sister, everything was dead. And I got in the room and I braved it out after I showered in some cold water to brave it out. And late in the night, one mosquito was in the room and I couldn't find that mosquito.
Oh, God. They
Wow.
coming around by your ears sipping
One
and making
mosquito.
noise.
Jesus, Lord. That torture.
Been there, done that.
Okay, man. Thanks for taking
Have a
Grammy
good
Boy
one.
call.
Man,
Great to hear
GNN,
from
call us
you.
tomorrow, man.
So
We
great to hear
appreciate you and
from you.
glad to hear you from you, bro. Love you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Let's get to the other calls. Talking heads.
Hey, good day, Naughty and Guess. How you doing?
Hey,
Hey,
good
what's going on,
afternoon.
big bro?
Well, boy, guess what? Boy, I ain't gonna lie to you. PPL did their thing to me this weekend, boy. Boy, it was sweet. Naughty, power ain't cut off once.
What? Where you live?
Naughty?
Where you live?
Naughty, I ain't gonna tell you. I
Back
want
in
to
the market. You done go and get yourself on the list, boy. How you get on the list before me, boy?
Naughty, I ain't gonna lie to you. She was sweet this weekend, boy. I talking about air conditioned straight through. I ain't sweat once.
My brother, I'm glad and happy that you had that moment, that miracle, that miraculous experience. But why do I have a funny feeling that next week, Monday or Tuesday, you could be calling here saying, "Dear Jesus, they killed me this weekend, but all I do is sweat on top of sweat on top of sweat." Careful, don't jinx yourself, you know.
Boy, Naughty, as a praying warrior.
You're a praying warrior, but start praying now because David Key and them and Albany and Charlottesville and all them was praying, and they praying warriors too, and they've been out for 24 hours.
But Naughty, let me ask you a question, right? You can't give it a prize, right, for the people like Michael, right? For the third caller, who could prove that they blow the most household appliances, get a TV.
Wow.
No, I won't give a prize and call Michael to tell me where exactly all the filth from Phil Smith Park gone. I hear allegedly in Adelaide, but I won't know exactly where. I'll give him a prize for that.
Well, man, I hear people in Jamaica, some people's off for like, what, 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, I heard that. I heard there was a stretch in Carmichael and surrounding areas, 3 to 5 days they were off, on and off, and some were completely off.
Wow, wasn't them?
And don't lie, when you're sweating 2 hours, it feels like 8 hours. So, you could get lost in that myriad of heat and power being off. You could be off for like 2 hours, but you could tell people, man, I was off for 12 hours, but I dehydrated. Help me. I can't feel my
You won't
legs.
believe it, right? Coral Harbor have 2 areas, and they're on 2 different grids. And God put in the way, right? I picked the perfect area with on a different grid. But I
Lucky
would
you.
fix the situation, though.
Yeah. Yeah, you should stop there.
Stop
Yeah,
bragging,
let me
man.
stop that because they might say, okay, yeah,
You could be crying next week, I promise.
take it easy, bro.
All right, man. Be safe. Yeah, that's crazy though. I mean, it can be that it's become just part of the norm. That these long, power cuts are just part of everyday life. It can be, man.
Yeah, I mean, and there was a press conference by BPL and BGC executives earlier today where they did give us some more information. Not gonna hit them over the head for holding the press conference because I did say last week that, I think it's important that they communicate, and if they need something from the Bahamian people, that it just makes sense to tell us what they need. So we did kind of get some information, but it's a little bit
All right.
confusing. It is.
I want you to play along with me, please, okay? I looking at both our sons, and I can tell them now during a power outage. Listen, fellas, why don't be like me when I was young? We have a lot of beautiful island around here with a lot of breeze and beaches. Why don't go by the beach and catch some breeze, and when it gets hot and cool off like we used to do back in the day? How do you think they'll react to me on that?
Yeah, I mean, they like the beach. Don't get me wrong, the demographic, because they actually do love to spend a
but
lot of
I
time
bet
at
you
the
told them
beach.
they
But
had to go to the beach because there was no power in the house and they wanted to
that's
watch
a
a
different-
game or do some Xbox or do whatever. Problems in the land.
that is a different story. But we did ask about what it is that BPL, BGC.
No, listen. Go ahead, my bad, but just
Sorry.
allow me. This
Go
has
ahead.
been some of the most impeccable BS that I have heard in a long time when it comes to BPL. And I must say, whoever's coming up with the BS this go round, it is entertaining. It's Bill Clinton like BS. It's
It
good
is-
stuff.
It's confusing for sure.
All
Because
right.
I'm
You know
trying to-
why? Because maybe people charge their electric vehicles too much now. That's causing the strain.
I'm trying to understand
And
whether-
businesses need to cut off appliances and different things like that. I mean, really? How many
mean,
more
there-
fingers you at one point?
there have been that. Okay, so there's a lot of finger pointing going on, and there, situations in certain places where, say, like California, for example, when they had that problem where the almond milk was, causing them to lose a lot of water with the almond trees and different things. They had different issues. There was a situation where they would tell citizens, okay, so we need you guys to use less water. The whole idea about conserving, maybe I get it, but electricity is such an interesting thing, especially when you look at what we were told before. We were told that we have this great generation capacity, that we are prepared for the summer. We can meet peak hours. And then today we were told
They have a great capacity to generate BS excuses. That's what they do have a great generation and capacity for. Sorry.
we're being kind of led into self-load shedding, kind of like use less. But is the problem because generation is at capacity? Is there a problem that transmission is at capacity? Is it a problem that the transformer? So we got some information, but we didn't get the granular details that we need to know to understand what's really happening. But let's just a little under 2 months. Here's the Minister of Energy, JoBeth Colby Davis, who I see some people are really, really calling for her to step down at this point. Here she is basically talking about the generation capacity and summer preparedness. So let's listen to the minister. This is on June 10th of this year during the budget debate, talking about being ready for summer and the amount of power that we, have the capacity to meet.
Summer ready. I wouldn't say that. I say we're experiencing challenges and we are
Well, no,
addressing them.
let's pause it right there, Mr. Producer. Let's go to the minister first, Minister Colby Davis, because this was the foundation for, everything else that people are feeling right now about what's happening with BPL and BGC. All right, so let's go to Minister Colby Davis.
At BPL, our leaders have prepared for a peak summer demand of 300 megawatts on New Providence, 27 megawatts on Abaco, and 20.5 megawatts on Eleuthera. Currently, BPL has 340 megawatts installed capacity on New Providence, which will increase to 385 megawatts at the end of the month. 36 megawatts on Abaco and 24 megawatts on Eleuthera, which will increase to 26.5. By August, we expect 29 megawatts of capacity on Eleuthera. While I know that this information does not address all the islands on which BPL operates, our analysis indicates that these are the islands where we encounter the most challenges during the summer months. It is important to note that all other islands such as Exuma, Inagua, Cat Island, Andros, and others are all prepared and ready for summer.
Okay, so we were given a list of islands, told, okay, this one will need this. We got it. This one will hit a peak of this. We got that. These are ready to go. And then we saw what we actually lived, right? Which is these repetitive and long outages. And in some cases, we were told, okay, there was a freak electrical strike at one place, so that was the reason for that. And then in other places, we're told different things, kind of, I think someone used, the heat and acts of God. We're being given different reasons for why we're seeing these blackouts all the time. Earlier today, one of our very intrepid reporters, I want to say this sounds like the voice of Fonique too, who's a veteran journalist, asked BPL's COO, Mr. Anthony Christie, about this whole concept of summer readiness. And he had something very interesting to say, at which point the chairman of BPL stepped in to say, okay, hold on now, because this ain't a gotcha. But let's listen to him, that would be Anthony Christie, the COO of BPL, followed by its chairman, Ms. Christina Alston, on this whole question about summer readiness, which we were led to believe, BPL is ready for the summer. Let's listen to them.
Summer ready?
I wouldn't say that. I say we're experiencing challenges and we are addressing them as they present themselves. But summer readiness is, again, we cannot say we're summer ready and there won't be any issue. That's not how that works. So,
Because I think we like to say the gotcha moment. Got BPL. We got them. The fact of the matter is, I want everyone to hear me on this. This is one of the most complex systems in the Caribbean. We have a Class B substation that we have 2 kV lines. We have 33 kV underground cables, which are unheard of in the Caribbean. Able to reach out and get materials in a timely fashion speaks to our relationship within the Caribbean. This is not unusual for us to have where one utility needs something from another utility. Utilities do this and support each other all the time. They do it in the U.S. under mutual agreements. We do it here. BPL, in terms of summer readiness, had gone through the system. We had looked at everything. We had made sure that the generation was online in New Providence. That is a part of our summer readiness. However, saying that the system is going to be on 100% of the time, that is a very unrealistic goal.
Okay, so this is amazing. So we move from, yes, we're ready for summer, to the COO saying summer readiness. No, I wouldn't say that. That's not realistic. To the chairman stepping in and saying, well, hold on, we were kind of ready for the summer, but 100% of power, 100% of the time, that's unrealistic. And all this technical stuff. And also, we had to bring in some stuff. Are you bringing in stuff? I thought you were ready. I mean, there is a definition of the word. This is just amazing to me because the thing about it is they've been quite aware, and I think the minister as well, been quite aware about the impression that has been put on the Bahamian people. We have the situation where BPL split, and transmission and distribution went over 60% of it went over to this new company, Bahamas Grid Company, which we were told was upgrading the grid, $130 million investment. I think as of today, they're saying that it's complete. I think that's what I understood from the press conference and one of the executives today, that part is complete. But now we're being told that for whatever reason, and they're still not being very specific, they're not telling us whether or not this is a generation problem, and that's why they need us to start self-load shedding, or if it's a transmission problem on a grid that all the foundational work is complete. I am as confused at this point as most of the public is, because they're saying stuff, but they're not coming with enough specificity for us to understand exactly how bad the problem is. Although when you get to the point where you're telling people to register their EVs, if you get the EV charges, where you got to register that with going to the beach, it's pretty much self-evident that we are in some deep problems. So let's listen to Mr. Dario McKenzie, who was also at the press conference earlier today. He is the, I think, CEO of Bahama Grid Company. Here he is telling us about what we can do and giving us some advice. So let's listen to him now.
In order to maintain the system reliability, we really do need the public's support and assistance. So in short, this is a public appeal, right? Conserve load where you can. Mr. Holder also talked about unreported or unauthorized connected loads, right? There's a reason why we have processes in place where you ought to report when you're connecting a new EV charger, right? That's a substantial drain, and that's unseen to the system operators. So in short, what I'm saying is we're appealing to the public at large to assist us with curtailing load, especially during peak period. We have a very beautiful island, right? Constant breeze. Sometimes it may be not a bad thing. I know I do it. I go out and enjoy what this beautiful island has to offer. But to each his own.
To each his own. Go sit on the beach.
Hold on.
What are we doing?
Aram Lewis. You
What?
have got competition next to that cowboy statement about put the tub of water in the yard and let the sun heat it.
What is going on? I mean, what? And then all of a sudden now we bring EVs into the conversation and we're supposed to be registering. I didn't know that. Thank you. I mean, I didn't know we were supposed to, when electric vehicles supposed to go and register that with BPL, or is it BG? Who we registering it with? Because I'm completely confused at this point. But this is amazing. This is crazy. And I want you to understand that this comes into the conversation, which to me, that don't have nothing to do with what they were saying prior. We're ready, and it looks like the foundational work is 95%, I guess 100% complete now. And now we're told, okay, yeah, you guys need to reduce, which I could understand that because we're having a problem, right? But if the upgrades are complete, why are we still having this? Like, where do we get to? We don't have to do these reload shedding, self-load shedding forever, just for the summer. And the part about the EVs is crazy, considering this government has basically encouraged all Bahamians to go and get EVs. They have prioritized that in the registration and licensing fees to kind of push people towards that. And so you're telling me you're pushing us towards something the grid cannot handle? Like, what is happening?
Doesn't one of the MPs own an electric car company?
And I guess they should know whether or not that's a feasible business in terms of a critical infrastructure like the power grid and whether or not that's sensible. This is bananas. I'm sorry, but this is absolutely crazy. Okay?
Let's get to the phone lines.
Crazy.
Talking heads.
Hey, Naughty MJ, what's happening?
Hey, what's
Good
going on?
afternoon.
Hey, MJ, you need to prepare your people in Grand Bahama for what's to come.
Oh, they know.
Because BPL, supposedly by GB Power, so just prepare them for what's to come.
Oh, yeah, they're ready.
And I think the people at BPL, they talk about what they can generate. The minister, she is right in a certain extent, right? She said BPL is ready to generate power. Problem. We're having a transmission and distribution problem.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get the power out. It's making it, but we can't get it out. So technically, she is right. And furthermore,
No. Technically, you're absolutely right. But when you tell us we're ready for the summer, you should add the caveat. Okay, we have the power, we just won't be able to get it to you.
Exactly. And furthermore, they said they test the generation. Well, how can you test the generation power and you ain't put load on it? So what you tested? You just testing to see if it's wicked without
Testing
load?
people's nerves with all these flipping blackouts.
You know, and also too, I think it was the CEO who mentioned that no power plant operates 100% of the time. Well, that's not sustainable.
No.
Any right thinking person who works at a power plant, who manages it, or know that you don't run 100% of the time. You always leave reserve energy for unplanned possibilities. So if you operate in your power plant 100% of the time, you have issues. You have serious issues. You know, and also too, she said that even your car don't operate 100% of the time.
Mine does too. I pay for maintenance though.
when I see my check engine light come on, I take it to the shop to see what's wrong and have it repaired.
We do maintenance.
When I hear my brakes squeaking, I change it before it becomes a problem.
You have to. You have to.
And you probably put it
I just
an
think they need
affordable.
to stop. I just think they need to stop making excuses and stop name blaming and stop trying to convince the people that this is a F&M problem or this is a menace problem or ignorant problem, because everyone is using the same talking point. Oh, this is a Asian problem. This is a we inherited this problem.
Inherited is the key word. That's the
so
talking point.
I just think they need to come up with solutions and stop blaming and excuses. We want solutions right now. Not no blame game and we inherited this and give us solutions. Give us your a well documented, structured plan that what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it. Give us a time frame, give us a deadline, and give us an estimate.
Before you go, because you sound very knowledgeable on this, they did say that they want us to start conserving electricity during peak hours. Do you know when the peak hours are?
I guess the peak hours is between 4 and 8 or 9 o'clock at night. But let me ask you a question with conserving energy. Was PL conservative when they gave you your bill last month or month before last?
Absolutely
Did they showed you any kind of pity or any kind of mercy? Well, we'll take some off or we'll work it out or we'll do it. Did they have any mercy on you?
No mercy.
I think I can continue to listen.
No mercy. Although I guess the plan is, if you use less, you pay less. But man, those bills were they were painful. Last month's bills were absolutely painful. But okay, so we got a couple of. It's like they keep expanding the reasons that we're having these problems, but the solution, I guess, for now seems to be they want us to conserve. They did pinpoint big businesses as well as government offices as the place to start, said that they had done some audits and that they, spoke with some of these government agencies and they need to conserve electricity. I get it, but you're not telling us how long is this how long do you need us to do it? Give us the specific hours, and then also answer, some of the questions around why, because wasn't Bahamas Grid brought in to upgrade the grid so that, transmission and distribution would be transformative, I think the word was used. So what exactly is happening? Has that work been done yet? $130 million investment. You had Pike, who was supposed to be the specialist partner, leave the country. And so now where are we, BGC? I mean, what exactly what are you doing? Do you have the number of employees that you need to get further work done? I know that I remember reading an article a couple of months ago. We talked about it on the show where you had a situation where they couldn't get some BPL employees seconded to BGC, and that was the thing they were trying. So where are we with that? And then how much longer are we going to have to endure this? I think that's the question that they need to answer, because they keep branching out on the reasons why we're having this problem. I was very surprised when they brought electric vehicles into the equation today and then this concept about us registering it. I mean, you guys don't have access to customs, so they don't.
Out all the spinning all and all the see what had happens today. Let's get back.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, MJ.
Hey, good afternoon.
I seem to be completely confused with which party had the majority of rule in the Bahamas.
You mean elected over time, which was in power more?
Which party?
That would be the Progressive Liberal Party.
So why they keep going back to F&M and this and that when they had all the opportunity to do all this from a long time as well?
I don't know.
Seem like they feel like Bahamian people dumb and stupid, and the ministers told a lot of untruths because you told us you were ready. You told us before election you were ready. You understand what I'm saying? And this ain't making no sense, man. Now you got all these people coming on stage talking about you got to do this. We as people who consume and have to do this and have to do that. No, you all have to do your job. You have to provide a proper grid where it can take all of this stuff. You have 2 major hotels on this island. You understand? You got all these Evo cars coming on stream now. You all say you're always ready. You understand? So the minister, I don't even want the minister to speak no more. I need to hear from these people, the CEO, the COO, all these type of people, because they more in tune with what's going on in the minister. She only want keep her job. So she'll tell us anything. You understand, man? We pay good money for this.
It is frustrating. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, caller. And I think that's, because some of the things that today were so crazy, like you have to laugh, but it is frustrating. I think behind, all of these outages are so many people that are completely stressed out. I read stories about people having to throw out food. You go 4 days without any power to your fridge. Oh boy. Especially if you have vegetables and fruit in there.
Food gone,
it's like
and they just stink.
Food spoilage. That's an added expense. You have a generator and you have to keep fueling that up. That's an added expense. If the generator has to run exceptionally long, then that probably adds maintenance costs and all these other kinds of things. So I hear what they're saying over there at BPL, but it's too much now. I think they had a little back and forth between summer readiness, where you had the COO kind of saying, I wouldn't say summer readiness, because you could expect problems, and then the chairwoman trying to smooth that over, when the minister told us, point in telling us all of the generation you have, the generation capacity you have, if at the end of the day you cannot get that to me. That's like a food store saying, oh, we have all of this food, but the doors are locked. We can't get to it, or it can't get to us. This is crazy. And I just wanted to note a point on the electric vehicles, because now they're throwing that in there and talking, and not just throwing it in there, talking about we supposed to be coming to BPL to register. Do you guys not have access to customs data? Do you not know how many electric vehicles come into the capital? Do you guys not have access to road traffic? Can you not find out from them how many, electric vehicles are being registered? We're talking about we must come to you telling you that we have an electric vehicle. That is data that the government of the Bahamas possesses that should be easily accessible to you. As a matter of fact, that data should have gone into your planning. This upgrade that you're doing, that should be factored in. And I would think it was factored in, particularly since the Minister of Transportation basically amended the Road Traffic Act and has now made electric vehicles the hot thing on the block, encouraging everybody to go get EVs because it's so much cheaper to. So what exactly are we doing?
Let's get to the phone lines. We got C. Allen on the line. C. Allen, what's happening?
Hey, how you doing? Hi, Mary J. and Naughty.
Hey,
let me
C.
just
Allen.
say, right? When you talked about the demand, right? Maybe they should have some tiered pricing, right? Maybe then people buy some batteries, so when your electricity is 10 cents, just stock up on the battery at night and do it. But you all better be careful. Them smart grid, they might come up with dynamic pricing, where you have to bid for electricity in the middle of the day, and only those with money will be able to buy it. So,
everyone else in the dark.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But here's the problem, right? If
BPL was an island in the Bahamas, it would be called Fantasy Island. And because nothing BPL says makes sense in the 21st century, they could only be talking with the intent of gaslighting us. Now, you go back to 2024 when the Prime Minister himself said that we were facing an imminent collapse of the grid system, and this is why he was going to do these investments and these partnerships and everything. The same thing he's repeating now 2 days later. I think it was May of 2024, right? So now you go and look and say, at the time when he made that announcement, it was estimated the capacity of something like 415, 425. I know it's a 5 in it, right? That the load demand reached approximately 415 megawatts in 2024. Minding you, BPL only had the peak, I think New Providence had the peak of capacity of 270 to 300 megawatts. So you see the break in there, right? So what happens is that when you begin to take the data, like you say, but they don't use data, they use data. But when you take those things into place, let's look at what it costs to replace the system. A retention grid, meaning you keep most of the working and newer part of it in the Bahamas, and I want BPL and or the minister or somebody will cost us somewhere between $3.2 billion, maybe $2.8 to $3.2 billion. That's the retention to reach the grid, because you can't just build a grid for the day. And this is only if you look forward for 10 years, right? So the problem is that when you look at really what we need, and you talk about smart meetings, communication, SCADA, AD, MS, DERMS, GIS, cybersecurity, all of these different things, when you talk about moving into the grid, we are not having conversation on anybody who's seeking to repair our grid system. We are looking at buying baskets, the leaking basket, and trying to fill it with water for what is happening. If we have to do is we have to look at it very easily. $4 billion, $4.5 billion. 4% interest, $260 million a year. 6% interest, $325 million a year. We have to find that, but we have to find that in the savings of what is necessary. Let me end saying this, right? Before we talk about anything about a grid, they're lying, their lips will be moving. If we don't have a gap analysis, a GIS asset register, an integrated resource and resilience plan, cost and financing analysis, a 10-year construction and outage sequencing schedule, a demand reduction and billing efficiency strategy, real-time CDR, CFI, system losses, reserve margin, generation availability, renewable curtailment, restoration time, cost delivered, and so much other information such as people, even your cell phones and your TVs and all of these different things is changing the dynamics of energy needs in the 21st century, and it's not. So actually trying to buy buckets for a 1980 system is a fantasy, and we need to bite the bullet and go pay the $350 million a year, $1 million a day to get the new system, but I look for growing the economy due to efficiency to cover that cost. And until we stop doing this, we're joking. Fantasy Island. Play the song. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Theo. Go ahead, Naughty. Let's get to the other calls. Talking Heads.
Good day, Naughty.
Hi.
And good day, Mary Jane.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, metaphorically speaking, but in reality, we got to find where Dracula is. And we got to strike a spike in his heart in the day, midday preferably. And I feel like, you see that solar field that's in the sports center?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We never found out where all electricity for that going. But I understand that the freeloaders at UB, you're getting all electricity for that, right? And that bowl where they play baseball, them big floodlights is be on, and when the evening got no game on, it's like the power off for that running. Oh,
I haven't noticed that. I haven't noticed the lights on when there are no games. Why you call
and
it?
I feel like that solar field that's at the sports center should be used as opposed to their EVs can pay X amount to get charged up to be off the grid, basically.
That is a good idea. Like, we need that, especially. That makes sense.
They're getting free education. They're getting, money to be in school. all kind of freebies and why we pay for it. But like I say, the best solution is to get all those EVs to use that solar field there as the charging post, and the government can get the money what we getting for these EVs, because they surely can get it for licensing them. $150 no money.
Thank you.
Good stuff, Carlos.
I
Good
don't know
stuff.
why. I don't know why he said free. I do not mind free education for our kids. I think it's makes sense and it's good for the future.
Nothing wrong with that.
country. Yeah, I
Let's
think
get
that's a great idea.
to the other calls. Talking Heads.
MJ and Noddy.
Hey.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Okay. You know what's further vexing about this thing, Noddy?
What?
MJ started talking about all the additional expenses that come with the inconvenience of having to be out of power, like your additional generator costs and so forth. But you know what? Every caller would agree. Don't care how much the power out, our light bill's still higher. How?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
We are out of power for hours, and our light bills are still higher. How, man? Like. No, that's why I tell you, it gotta be some shafting going on.
Martin with that, man.
Yeah, it's rough. We got those high bills last month. We'll expect to see more high bills, but then you got so much inconvenience with this product that's being this product that's a part of critical infrastructure that's being delivered to us. I mean, it really doesn't make sense. Like, Bahamians are tired and they're fed up. Okay, so now we're hearing we need to conserve, but then they throw in the electric vehicle.
Go to the beach.
I don't know. The beach thing was crazy. I mean, I like the beach, but really though, seriously, nah.
Nobody told him that might not be a good idea to say something like that, or did he just throw that out there? Did he just throw it in? Maybe he should just throw it out.
And the thing is that if we're being real, we don't believe that this is, and I'm not saying that it's necessarily the case, but you're going to find it hard to convince Bahamians that the persons that are overseeing this transformation are suffering the same way that every day. But we assume that most of them have generators, that most of them have the ability to, use their appliances, use their air conditioning, and afford it, while the rest of us are suffering. And it doesn't come across as equitable. They talk about equity. It doesn't come across the sacrifice doesn't come across as equitable at all. And even though they say they apologize a lot, people just don't feel like they really understand what we're going through and all of the hardships that a lack of electricity is bringing to so many Bahamians.
Let me get to the text lines real quick because they're fully loaded as well. Good afternoon, Noddy and MJ. Each ministry Goldie Davis is in has been a failure. She needs to go. Lie after lie, misspeak after misspeak. She needs to be fired, period. Good afternoon, MJ and Noddy, my favorite host. Good afternoon, Noddy and MJ, my favorite host. I feel for you guys in New Providence, but the outage is the norm for us here every day in Eleuthera.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, MJ and Noddy. My light was on this weekend, but it was off from 1 a.m. Wednesday night and didn't come back on until 8:23 a.m. on Thursday. I got a bit of up in a pool of sweat the next morning, and other areas were on before mine. I'm in the east. Good afternoon, Noddy and MJ. The minister, Colby, is delusional. Cat Island is not ready for summer. Power outage all night and this morning. Every week we have a power outage live from Cat Island.
So sorry, just let's pause there for a second, because there were some islands that the minister singled out and said that they are ready. Now, they're not the same as here in the capital, New Providence, where we're told that, our grid is basically, I guess, close to collapse. Our old system, legacy, they call it, is close to collapse. What is the problem in those islands, like Cat Island, like Exuma, that were particularly identified by the minister and saying, okay, well, no, they're summer ready? Like, what's happening there?
Boy, these texters, they don't forget anything. But here we go again. And let me get to this one. Good afternoon, Noddy and MJ. Please don't forget that just a few months ago, you all was commissioning. Wait a minute. When did we commission the Frankie Wilson and the Grandchildren Power Station? When did we commission that?
I don't even know what that is. What are we talking about?
What happened to the power that's supposed to be generated and selling to BPS? Listen, Texter,
I'm not sure.
I
I'm
need you to
confused.
break it down because this is
Yeah,
one
remind us.
jumbled.
Say. I know you're hinting at something, but just say it plainly
Say
so
it
we
so we
know
could get to the
exactly
point.
what you mean. What happened? What power? Tell us.
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Please leave Miss Kobe Davis alone. It's not her fault. She's suffering from chronic foot and mouth disease. At this point, she should change her last name to I'll be doggone.
I see, and it started last week. It's really like picking up steam when you talk to people. This idea that the minister, maybe it's time for her to step down and do something else. And I said last week that I wasn't all the way there yet, but I've seen some editorials. I've seen you know, some posts by persons that go into detail to explain why they feel that, maybe she's no longer the best person to lead that particular.
It's all in her campaign slogan, Joe Beth or No Beth. But we've seen what Joe Beth could do. Let's see how it runs with No Beth. It might run better.
Yeah, and as I said last week, it's not like the administration doesn't have other persons of the political stripe that have maybe more particular area that may be able to do something else because they got to do something else now. We've heard the explanations. We heard, okay, we got this generation capacity, great, and then we were basically sold, which is starting to look like a fantasy in the meantime about what the grid will do once it's upgraded. Now I'm hearing that most of it is upgraded, but we still have these problems. What was the point of that? And how much more work has to be? We put 130 million into it, right? BGC has, and we're a part of BGC because we retain 40% stake, and that gave up a big stake in transmission and distribution to get that 40% stake. And we're hearing that the upgrades are done, but you can't get the power to us. Like something is wrong. And I think that, after everything that we've seen these last 2 months in particular, maybe it is time to make a change atop that ministry and put someone there who is more plain spoken to the Bahamian people, who can elicit more trust. Because unfortunately, when you tell us that something is a particular way and you lead us to believe and then reality catches up and we see that you're not ready, you're going to be held accountable for your words. And if you don't have that confidence from the general public, you're in problems. And it makes the government, also lose confidence and credibility from the Bahamian public. So maybe there is an opportunity here for the Prime Minister to do something different because Bahamians are frustrated. We've heard enough. It's very expensive, this electricity that we're buying, and it is not
Be progressive
better.
and set an example.
It's not better than what we've had challenges before, but this has been the most challenging period, particularly since we were promised that, those days that we saw with the load shedding, the intensity of it, the frequency of it, were over. We were told we would have affordable, reliable electricity, and we're now being told most of the work is done, and we're still not there yet. So what is happening?
We got to get to the break. Mr. Producer said the song. I think that's that classic Inner Circle. I think BPI can make sure we do one thing until they get it organized. It's sweat. So take us to the break, Mr. Producer. I will get to the rest of the text and the rest of the calls on the flip side of the news. And I will also talk sports in the 5 o'clock hour as the Tuesday, August 4th edition of Talking Heads continues right after this.
That love is history. With a little bit of this and a little bit of that. The lyrics goes on the attack. My tongue gets tied. And that's no looking in your eyes. I'm looking in your big brown eyes. Ooh, girl. And I've got this to say to you. Hey, girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more. And if you cry out, I'm gonna push it some more. Girl, I want to make you sweat. Sweat till you can't sweat no more.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for on the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances. So come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
No budget for a vacation this summer? No worries. We got you. Guardian Radio 96.9 will fly you and a guest to South Florida for a vacation of a lifetime. Our sweet summer escape gets you round-trip tickets on Bahamas Air. $1,000 spending cash, thanks to Percy's Island Games. Brand new luggage from Brass and Leather. 4 days and 3 nights at the beautiful Holiday Inn Express Plantation. Free car rental from Hertz, too. All you need is your passport. We got you covered. Enter now for the Guardian Radio 96.9 Sweet Summer Escape. Fill out the form in today's Nassau Guardian and follow us on all social media platforms. Remember, you must be 18 or older to enter. Entry deadline August 12th, drawing August 14th. Taxes not included and certain restrictions apply.
Dive in hot with the new KFC Dunk Buffalo Ranch. Ranch chicken sandwich with buffalo sauce on the side. For just $8.95, get messy with it and dunk it how you want it. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Everybody dunk! Everybody ranch!
Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. If you want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist, then Fine Threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video, wanna step out and look great, then Fine Threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste, then Fine Threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Summer's here for you. Every bucket starts with 8 legs and thigh pieces of your favorite chicken, plus 4 golden biscuits. Grab the value bucket for just $20 or go big with our mega bucket, packed with everything you need for summer fun on the beach, boat, or on the road. Need more? Add 4 Pepsis, Fountain Fries, or the new KFC Summer Buckets of big flavor, big value, and finger-licking good chicken only at KFC Nassau.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, and Prince Masters.
Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we'll find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the It's my own design. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide.
We're back at ya on the Tuesday, August 4th edition of Talking Heads and MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. 5:12 p.m. is the time. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. MJ, My girl, my favorite talk show host, please give me the gas tracker update. I need to fill up.
I will have that for you momentarily.
People really relying on your gas tracker in the afternoon.
It's in the Guardian. I will get it though. I'll have that for you momentarily.
All right, let's get to the phone lines real quick. Talking Heads.
Yes, good afternoon, audience. Good afternoon, MJ. Hope you're doing well today.
Hey, good afternoon, brother. What's going on?
I heard the caller said earlier that the CEO or the COO are the individuals who should be speaking, right? But I think that they need to think again, because I feel as if those individuals are only mouthpiece for the government. Whatever the government says, they're going to be saying the same thing, right? I feel as if the individuals who they should talk to are the technicians, the individuals on the ground, the individuals who really know what's going on. You know, in a kind of way, they're the ones who could tell you what's happening. But what I was also saying too is that I was wondering, like, should BPL be the ones like really telling us what's going on or what the problem is? Because I mean, they've already privatized the generation, distribution, and all these other things, right? So I mean, how do they know what these companies dealing with? You know what I mean? Because is it BPL's job to go and inspect all of these different entities to make sure these entities are up to par, and then come to us and say, okay, yes, we've inspected this company, we've inspected the distribution part, or whatever the case would be? Because I'm trying to figure out how could BPL tell us that things are set, because when it came to the press conference, the only individual who I feel was supposed to be there is the individual who represented one of those. I'm not sure if he was from the distribution or the generation part, but the individuals who were talking about they inherited some aged system, right? Who should really be talking to us, because he represents individuals who are responsible for generating or distributing, because all BPL does right now, BPL has already rid itself of all of the revenue generating things, right? So now, what my understanding is that they're going to bill us now to pay these people. So that's all BPL doing. They only bill us to pay these people.
And they're still responsible for generation. BPL is responsible for generation. And then you have Bahamas Grid Company that has taken over the transmission and distribution.
Oh, well, I thought BPL had privatized the generation portion also.
I hadn't heard that.
Also, but
okay. I hadn't heard that.
And when it like how MJ was talking about the government is like incentivizing people to get these EVs, right? And but but then the EVs are they hinting that the EVs might be causing an issue, right?
Company.
This and that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I mean, so what's going to happen eventually? I mean, the government should be saying to themselves, "But okay, if we are incentivizing people, and one day, who knows, the entire island, everyone might have an EV, right?
Well, correct.
And if they can't generate power right now, I mean, when you have a couple of people riding around them things, right? I mean, imagine the type of improvements they would have to make to the system in order to satisfy the need for the entire island dealing with EVs, if EVs are really the issue, right? Because still we're talking about power generation. I mentioned this before, and this may seem irrelevant to some people, right? But data centers are crucial in the system of things that we're living in right now. Data centers are crucial. Donald Trump, the president of America, just a week or so ago, was saying he was encouraging people to build data centers and to get people to, you know what I mean? Just to put data centers is a big thing. And I'm thinking to myself now, if to date we don't have any here yet, which I'll be surprised, right? But that means that we will have data centers come here also, right? Data centers consume an incredible amount of electricity and an incredible amount of water, and they are detrimental to the environment, right? I want to know what our life will be like if we got data centers. You know what I mean? Because, but Naughty and MJ, I beg you to look into data centers and see what they're dealing with too, right? But another thing with generation of power too, like I feel as if we shouldn't be powering resorts like Atlantis and Bahama if we are, right? I feel because then that means that when they get those developments, we as a country have to like facilitate now the energy for them. You know, that kind of way. We got to, you know what I mean? And then we the public suffer too because, you know, they pull a lot of energy. I feel as if whenever they have big entities like that come in, those entities should be forced, right, to provide themselves with their own power and to help the grid in terms of that their power generation is far more than they require, and they push a certain percentage to the grid. You know, and instead of the reverse where we give them power, they give us power. That should be in the contract when they bring in these big resorts and these big power-consuming things. But like I said before, I want you all to look into the data centers because I think we'll be ready to have them here. Our government is a very secretive government, but very good show, and thank you for the time.
Thank you so much. If I recall the budget debate correctly, I mean, data centers is used as a kind of general term, but I might be mistaken, but I think I do recall Minister of State in the new Ministry of Innovation and National Development, Minister Watson, I think he did speak about data centers. I know for sure that we have an Oracle Fusion system. We spent a pretty penny on that and going to spend more moving into the future. But if it's the full-scale data center, I'm not certain that we have that, the ones that they talk about that are energy intensive. But I'm sure we have data centers here.
Let's get back to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Good afternoon. How are you all doing?
Good afternoon.
I've been listening to the conversation, and you know, I think back to the Nassau Beach Hotel, and I think the Nassau Beach had its own little power plant. I don't know if you all can recall that, or if that is so, somebody can clarify that, or whether it was or not. Because I'm sure, as the young man said before, if you have your own power generation, it can help to ease. Because over time with the development, as New Providence developed, with all of the housing, community, all the other investments that have gone off grid. So if you don't increase the grid, what happens? Okay? So now to the minister. And as they came back for their second term, I thought that Baca's role would have been given the opportunity to be minister overseeing BPL.
Ma'am, I totally agree with you, considering Baca has a multitude of years' experience.
That was one of the names that came top of mind. Yeah, that was one of the persons I was thinking about.
And in his position, he was quite proficient. He was a people's person in that position at BC, then BPL. And I feel somebody like him who understands what's going on, sat around the table at various levels in the company, ought to have been given that position. And another thing, our country seems to be going backwards because we are not bringing our experienced intellectual people to the table who understand these matters. Our engineers, bring them back to the table. Listen, after election, it's Bahamian first. We have nothing to do with what color you're wearing. We want our country to run properly, bring the best to the table so that we can have optimum results in our country. And what we're experiencing now doesn't have to happen. I thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think she made a lot of good points. I just wanted to, because the caller earlier, he also raised some good points, but he talked about the big hotels, the big resorts, and maybe having them come off. I understand that maybe BPL is asking them during those peak hours to maybe use their generators and help the system. That's what's happening today, and I'm assuming that's a temporary fix. It'll be difficult to be a long-term fix because the big resorts represent, a substantial part of BPL's financial base, right? So if they lose those sales and they contribute to the fixed cost, we could be looking at higher bills, higher tariffs, because you need, those hotels also help, keep the cost down. They can't. No, they do because they offset a lot of the higher fixed costs for BPL. It's almost like so we understand why the family islands are so much more expensive, right? Smaller customer base, some logistics with getting it there, but mainly smaller customer base. And we see that we here in New Providence subsidize a lot of our family islands because there is a smaller customer base. Now, if you pull off the resorts, what are we looking at? Now, should there be maybe some discussions about strategic sharing? Maybe you do a piece, you do, something like that. Maybe. I don't think that conversation should be off the table. But just wholesale, remove those resorts from BPL's customer base. I think that would be problematic and likely to increase costs for the rest of us.
Let's get back to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Yes, good afternoon to both of you.
Good afternoon.
Yes, just a simple observation. I don't know if it's just me, but I find that when questions are asked to the persons concerned and answers are required, there seems to be a bit of agitation on the part of those who are supposed to answer, like we almost, you're getting on our nerves and we're going to speed it up, or we may give a little more volume to show that just listen to us and it's going to be all right, without saying, well, maybe these people are agitated because they are sweating and they're in the dark. I don't know if others feel that way, but not just in this particular case, but even then some of the other powers, when you ask them questions there seems to be this sense of, you're sort of getting on my nerves. They're not saying it, but certainly I feel so that's how they feel.
Yeah, no, I've seen it in the past before, for sure. I have seen it. And sometimes that format down there by the office of the Prime Minister where they holler out 2 more questions. It's like, wait, hold on. We may have more questions than 2 more questions, I get your point totally.
Yeah, and also, like, when you go to ask again, someone will say, all right, now let me set this record straight so you don't have to ask it, So, like I said, I don't know, it's just me, but
yeah.
but one more thing. I was thinking of Muff Rowe, right?
Yeah.
I know that you laid him to rest the other day and didn't know him personally, but just listening to him on the phone when he would call. And so I was saying to myself, with all of this going on, I'm sure when it's come to the load shedding, and he would have said something like this. Well, look like we need to do our own load shedding now, boy. That's all I get to say.
That is him.
Okay.
That is a Muffism.
Yeah, so you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
got
that was a good
got
laugh.
it right down. Yeah. And
That was a
that's what they're
Muffism for
basically
sure.
telling us to do. Yeah, that's a Muffism. I love that.
Let's get back to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Hey, good day. How y'all doing, man?
Good
afternoon, Johnny 2 times.
Hey, Johnny.
Okay. Good, man. Good. Listen, you guys remember, I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember just at the last time that the Finland administration, that Leslie Miller, the parquet, came and he was talking about LNG.
Oh, yeah. They beat him up bad for that.
But I thought it was a good idea, and they beat him bad for that.
I mean, government and opposition drag him through the
Drag him
mud.
right up. Yep.
And y'all remember, it can blow up the whole country.
I remember that.
All that nonsense that was running on. And up to today, LNG plants, generations. And I know Leslie's been rolling his eye over and over and over. And now we talk about LNG now.
Now.
Can you imagine where we would have been if we had incorporated that?
They beat him up bad for that, though. I remember.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And I every time I hear them now talking about LNG, because LNG, the interesting thing about it, you don't necessarily have to have an LNG plant on the mainland. You could actually have it out there, on platforms. And
You know what
things.
LNG stands for now?
Yeah.
Leslie needs gratuities.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And, like I said, boy, listen, if we ever had any of those, those data centers come in the Bahamas, God
Yeah, the
help
big
us.
ones. Yeah.
Them things, let me tell you something. If you do your study up on those and you determine how much water, how much water.
Water is the key element with those data centers.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. It may big money for certain people, but trust me, the environment, among other things, are going to suffer severely on that. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, you guys have a good one.
Thanks.
All right, Johnny, 2 times. Let me get some of these texts in there, MJ, as well. But yeah, those data centers, the water is a huge usage with them, man.
Yeah.
And can you just imagine? I mean, I don't want to go there right now, but we can't get BPL in data center anyhow.
So I don't think it'll be anywhere near New Providence. I just say that.
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Just more excuses, man. They could not see all these EVs cars are still stuck on these car lots. What are they talking about? Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. What about the people with new construction homes who have been waiting for months to get connected and still have to pay? Very good point. And I've heard that from a lot of people who have been building, and there's a lot of complaints coming out that they can't get the power provided. They can't get like a transformer.
And this was the whole point of the modernization of the grid, right? Which is that we should be able to expand. This is supposed to provide new opportunities for us to expand our economy through these, through further construction and new businesses and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's not making sense right now.
Maybe BPL should tag along with immigration when they go in these shanty towns to see how much power they have been using. Good point.
And another thing, I think one of the callers talked about, maybe BPL shouldn't have been at that press. No, both BPL, I think, and BGC need to talk to us. Probably more BGC now because BPL seems to be saying they got the generation down. What's happening with BGC? About it is, when it's time for the bills and the cutoff, who coming to your house? Yeah, BPL. When you go pay your money, you pay the bill. So they need to be apprised every step of the way. Now, the chairman did say that they have weekly meetings, which I would expect for two companies that are so fully, integrated at this point in terms of delivering one product to Bahamians. But yeah, no, they both need to be speaking because we got questions for both of them, both of those companies.
Let's get back to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Pleasant good afternoon. How you doing, sir?
Good afternoon.
Yes, I am a graduate of Fisk University. Recently, while traveling in Nashville, I saw a great debate going on with reference to data centers. Fisk, I think, at some point started talks with the construction of a data center on our campus. And now we are fighting it because of the kind of environment data centers create, particularly in congested areas. Additional to that, I think there's a zoo nearby, and there were plans afoot to put a data center near a zoo, not too far away from Fisk University. Fought against that because of the kind of disturbance and also the environmental problems that these major data centers cause. And so I think if we were considering doing something like that, as congested as Nassau is, and I don't know if we have the wherewithal to proceed with something like that on a major scale here on the island of New Providence, elsewhere, but New Providence is far too densely populated for us to do something like that. And I think the power generation, in addition to water supply that's necessary to generate those data centers, I don't know that we have the wherewithal for it. But also, we were talking about power, and when we have these hotels coming to town, that they should bring their own power. I think there should be some debate with that. I don't think we should turn over power generation entirely to those companies or hoteliers, because what we can do is strike a deal where when they come, they help us upgrade our infrastructure so that we can supply more consistent and reliable power to the rest of the population. But to turn over power generation entirely over to hotels as they come in, I think would put us, kind of keep us right where we are. Not necessarily entirely, but it would kind of help us if they were to come on board to strengthen the program a tad bit.
Yeah, that's great points there.
Great points,
caller. Great points.
Yes. Well, I'm also the executive chairman of the Water and Sewage Corporation. So I think your program is indeed doing to a lot of education. I listen to it from time to time. So just keep up the great work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate that. And thank you for chiming in. Do not be a stranger. Anything that you have expertise on, please call us. And
now you're our official connector. You're our official water and sewage talking head. So
there you go. There you go. Have a good one. Thank you. Thank you, caller.
Let's get back to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hey, Naughty. It ain't just a beach, Naughty. He said there's a constant breeze always blowing all
Oh,
around.
yeah.
I wish I could tell him where that breeze should blow.
I don't feel it. Oh, okay.
But here's the next thing. I'm Naughty. Implemented where there's a new policy that they've just recently implemented. If your power is off, you have to go to Ministry of Works now and get it inspected.
Sorry, repeat that again for me, please. If your power is off, you have to do what?
If your power is off for longer than 6 months, you have to go to Ministry of Works.
Oh.
To have the electrical department of the Ministry of Works have an inspector come out to inspect it. Now, this is I've been made to understand this is a fairly new policy that many people have had to encounter or deal with already. The purpose I'm raising it now is this new policy is where persons, and I say allegedly to protect the Guardian Radio, but I had to pay my own pocket in terms of the amount of fees that these inspectors are charging persons in order to have their power turned back on. But not only when I heard y'all talk about the persons who are building new properties, whether it be a home or whether it be a business or anything, and they're waiting for the Ministry of Works or BPL to provide us the services that they ought to provide us. If you're waiting on this and you're waiting on that, this is a pay-to-play game that's going on in our country, in this culture of corruption, right down to the decision-making as it relates to BPL. But it doesn't seem that we as a people are in a position to do anything about it other than just take it as it is. And it has to stop. BPL is in the position it's in today, in my belief as a consumer and as a citizen of my country, because of the political influence and decision-making that they have been making up at the top that we have to paying the price for at every twist and turn of it.
Yeah, you won't get an argument from me about, the political interference over years and, where BPL is now because of so much caller. Thank you.
All right, Mike. And on the flip side of the break, we'll wrap things up. We'll get to the rest of the text and we'll talk some sports. But I think this is an issue. And I mean, just from looking at some of the text, I think this is the number one issue in this country throughout the entire archipelago. People want proper power provision. No more excuses, no more pontification. If we're going to pay for it, then give us the service that we are paying for and make sure it is a quality product. Is that too much to ask?
I don't think so.
We'll get to the break. Flip side of the break, the August 4th edition of Talking Heads, the Tuesday, August 4th edition of Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ continues right after this.
As the summer days wind down, a new school year begins. Grab your checklist and head on over to Kelly's House and Home for their 20% off back to school sale, except on net items now through September 2nd. They have everything you need like Toto, JanSport, and character backpacks, lunch boxes, composition books, pens, pencils, calculators, and more. Spend $50 or more on school supplies and you could win one of 2 gift baskets, bicycles, a laptop computer, or a Crayola-filled stocking. Now through Tuesday, September 2nd.
Hungry for some serious beef? Then get ready, because Burger King Nassau is bringing back the double quarter-pound king. That's a full half-pound of flame grilled beef, topped with melty cheese, tangy mustard, crunchy pickle, and fresh onions. Served on a toasted sesame seed bun, classic style. Big flavor, big protein, big satisfaction. Get your double quarter-pound king meal with medium fries and a drink for only $10.35. More food, less money. Only at Burger King Nassau.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's pension plan, Island game, keep you winning. Percy's pension plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's pension plan, Island game, we got you. Percy's pension plan, from the friends you can trust. It's a game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island game.
I want your tires faster than a hot nitro buck. One wheel going left, one wheel going right, while the car crying and trying to go down the road straight, Chief. You need to go into Muffler World and get your wheels aligned. Muffler World will set you on the straight and narrow in no time. With computerized wheel alignment. And since the car is up already on the rack, take them one-tread tires off and get some new ones. Muffler World on Mackey Street. Got that computerized wheel alignment and brand new tires.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
It's my own design. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide. Help me make the most of freedom and our pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody.
We're back on the Tuesday, August 4th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ and your company right up until...
And I have your gas tracker, Naughty.
And what we got?
We have Rubus at $6.89. We have Esso at $6.60, and we have 55. So everything's just under $7. That's great. That's high.
Repeat that again, please, MJ.
We have Rubus at $6.89, Esso at $6.60, and we have Shell at $6.75.
My God.
Almost like you can't even $5. You can't even get a gallon of gas with $5. What? Oy. And then they say go to EVs. And then they say, hold on now, wait a minute. Y'all putting pressure on the grid with these EVs. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I wanted to actually say that the EV lot is full, but the dealership is full of EVs. So
yeah, of course they're full.
They drain from that one spot, or is it?
No,
you know?
I'm sure I've seen there are a good bit of EVs on the island. I don't think that. I mean, I don't want to say they just pulling that out as another thing to put the blame on, but really, because the Ministry of Transport recently revised the fees surrounding registration and licensing, and they have encouraged persons. They said it's good for the environment. They've encouraged persons to go ahead and get electric vehicles. So now how all of a sudden they're in the conversation as being the cause? And why is Bahamas Grid acting like they're operating from a place where they cannot figure out exactly how many EVs have been sold and are likely running in this country? I mean, Customs don't have some of that information. Road traffic, though, road traffic should definitely be able to give you that information. So what's this thing about we must come and tell you? Just assume that if you buy an electric car, you're going to charge it, because that's how it works, especially if it's fully electric, right? Just assume that. You got the hybrids as well, but just assume that they're going to charge those. Why are we coming to you telling you that? Why is the government encouraging us to expand on this thing that you said is putting pressure on the grid? Is this a temporary thing where you need us to tell you, or is this going to be the forever case? You know, I didn't think that we would hear EVs being classed in the same group as what unauthorized loads. Is that what he called stuff?
Let's get back to these phone lines. I mean, to these texts. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. We'll have problems until December 2026. That's when the government is going to change. Trust me. Okay, I can write this down. That's prediction down.
Where did that random date come from? We don't have elections for a while. What are we talking about?
Naughty, MJ, and Pearly, we had to put down Muff on Saturday. He'll definitely be missed. And like I said, yeah, man, we all gonna miss Muff. Muff had a bigger effect and reach than people know. Hello, Naughty and MJ. Great show. Earlier this morning on Dwight's show, I do believe, I heard Sparky call in to say that he lost his dog.
Oh.
If that's true, please ask him to post a photo and details about his German Shepherd on the various Facebook pages. Bahamas Lost and Found Pets and knows. Best wishes, Sparky. My heart goes out to you.
Yeah, mine too. If he lost his, oh my goodness.
Yeah, get me that info,
Get that
Sparky.
info,
so we can
get that info
idea.
out, Sparky, so we can help you find your dog. Oh my goodness.
Naughty, tell the Rastaman, aka Bobo Shanti, all this data centers today is only to spy on you and take your information from you. New World Order. Mary Jane, the hotel got to pay for the fuel money for their generators, and September will be a slow month.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the hotel and doing construction work. Tell the lousy government they're supposed to have a plan for BPL.
Yeah.
They brought in Spike, and Spike still can't get it right. But that's Spike.
Yikes.
Good afternoon. Regarding the PLP Brave Davis and Joe Bell Kobe Davis and the BPL debacle, only one. Your sins will find you out. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. The Bahamian people have always only talked about the BPL BEC issue as being not maintained in service continuity for better service, also spending millions of our funds for upgrading and nothing gained. The people needs to protest and stay home until everything gets better. Yes, we can, Bahamas, and our government has created these power company issues, and they want to control and buy Grand Bahama Power Company, question mark, question up. Bahamas, please stand up now. Naughty and MJ, where would we have been? The LNG plant would have exploded with the transformers. That's also weren't supposed to explode. In reference to decanters in the Bahamas is a fantasy. In reference to data centers in the Bahamas is a fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, and we're also in our own, so yeah, okay.
Why are we guessing up the number of EVs in the country? This number is known. Ask road traffic or do we need Freedom of Information Act?
Hello.
Our leaders do not solve problems.
It ought to be known when they just recently amended the law to incentivize people, to encourage people to go buy more EVs. You should know what percentage of cars on the road are already EVs. You're going to assume that those persons have to plug in and charge those vehicles up if it's 100% electric. So why are we acting like this is how did they change the laws and particularly target that particular industry to encourage it if they have no idea how many are on the road? Like right now, what are we doing?
Good afternoon. The LNG plant has been present. An LNG plant is presently being built on Arawaki as you speak. Yeah, I know. And now,
we do know.
and now let's look at all the particulars who are involved with that LNG plant. That's probably the same LNG plant that could have built when Mr. Miller brought it up years ago. But I guess entities then didn't have, interest like how they do now. So it was a bad idea, but it's a good idea now, eh? Naughty and MJ, who is going to pay to refill my generator with fuel after I use it up? Assisting BPL. I filled my generator before June 1st for the hurricane season, and most of it is gone due to all of the power outages. Will BPL refill my generator? They're not serious.
That is a lot. I'd say that their generator has completely, because of these repetitive outages, that they have used up all of the fuel in their, and that's a cost. There's a cost attached to that, right? So it's one thing to say use less electricity. It's a whole other thing to say incur additional expenses with your generator because we're not, you need to help us out. It's they need to tighten up this messaging that they came with today. It's not making 100% sense.
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Regarding no system is designed for 100% availability, end quote. This is not correct. There are systems that are designed for zero failure. Can you imagine Boeing or a nuclear plant saying, well, you all know we expect a plane crash or the nuclear explosion 10% of the time? The important thing is they're designed for zero failure. So what I want to know from the CEO is, did BGC give us their availability ratio, and what was the design plan to achieve the ratio?
That would have been helpful. That would have been helpful early in the summer when, you know, we were being told that we were summer ready. I mean, if you said, okay, well, we can be good about 90% of the time, you know, that's a different kettle of fish than making it seem as though we can expect minimum. Now we're closer to the other end of it, you know, much, much higher disruption repeatedly. And some of these outages are very long. It's a lot.
Inordinately long. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. These people think they're talking to children, and it's infuriating. Do you know that the day Foco's involvement was revealed, I texted that I had zero confidence? It was clear to me they did not have the capital for this project. It only had been a few months since they failed to act in a timely fashion to address the Exuma oil spill. One man in a boat with a bucket. I said, we'll be where Puerto Rico is. We inherited an old system. They made me a prophet. Good evening, MJ and Naughty. The bridge in South Andres is ready to collapse. Wonder what MP Lundy is saying about that. Time to get to work.
I saw that.
MP Mitchell, who will you name now?
I did see that. I did see some reporting on that bridge in Andres, and I think they've now closed it down, and they've got Ministry of Works people. But they were saying parts of it dropped 4 inches. You know what that means for a bridge? And the pictures coming out of Andres are, wow. Please get on top of that. Do not play around with that. I mean, get that fixed. And while you're at it, you know, make sure you're doing inspections on all these other bridges throughout the country. Eh? Let's get ahead of these things. You got to be proactive.
Yeah, we are so good at being reactive. You know what I mean? Why don't let's be proactive for a change? Let's get back to the phone lines real quick. Talking Heads.
Hey, what's up, man? I had to call you back just for a quick second, right? The EVs. I had a discussion, me and Tom had a discussion over the weekend talking about the persons with the EVs actually saving comparable to using gas operation. One or two of them have some EVs. And you know what they found that was amazing? They found that they're spending more money to run their EVs separate from maintenance. With the power consumption, if you convert that to actual dollars, they're spending. Some are spending. They say they're spending about almost average. Some are say they're spending just a slight bit more. And then the other thing that's going on too that they found very amazing was the fact that, you know, sometimes the inconvenience of having to wait till the vehicle charge up to a certain point. Time.
Right.
They're losing time that they ain't getting back. So I'm just trying to figure out, is this thing be as efficient and cost effective as we're making it to be? I wonder if anybody ever will do a study on that to see what's happening.
Yeah, we need to study it. I heard that it was supposed to be not a major difference. You know, like it's not that bad. But
that's what I was told too. But
I don't know.
The three of them have these vehicles, and they say, man, you know, it when you balance out everything, it ain't like they got these charger ports all over the island in every place you go.
That may be the problem. That may be something that we definitely have to fix.
So they try to figure out if it's actually worth it. You know.
I
just wanted to know if any of your callers have this and they experiencing some of the things that my friends were talking about. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Johnny. Yeah, they need to conserve electricity. Park those cars.
Let me get these last texts in real quick. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. The question regarding the trained teachers who are currently posted at headquarters, these teachers should be returned to the school system as they are still receiving the benefits of Kalina Insurance as teachers. If the ministry is looking for teachers, it should start by reassigning those trained teachers who are serving in headquarters back into the classroom where their skills are most needed, and stop taking teachers out of the school system to fill administrative posts. Naughty joke of the day for you and MJ. I heard Sparky sold his dog for a 6-pack of Guinness.
Now, Texter. Now.
I wonder if power stayed on in Paris while Joe Beth was jumping all over the globe, saying she was ready. My wife said the same thing, that her body would be ready for the summer. Her bathing suit still is in the pocket.
You should you need a slap for that, Dexter. You need a slap for that. I hope your wife gives you one, because I know you didn't come on this radio talking that.
Right in the back of your neck, too, trying to be funny.
Right there.
The information from Johnny Two Times was all crap. The most you need to charge is about once or twice a week, not every day.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, texters. All right, callers. Everybody who chimed in, called in, and texted in. Good stuff, man. Fully loaded Tuesday, but you're always waiting for us.
And by the way, Paris is called the City of Light, so I think they got the electricity. I think they're good.
Yes, indeed. But I think that this is something this administration has to take extremely seriously. That people aren't paying when it comes to power provision. I think people know that we're going to have to pay for power. So provide us the power that we're paying for and make us pay for equipment that is going to last. And his quality equipment is not, not the homeboy network, not rewarding a crony or a lover or a friend. We need proper power provision, and we need other people involved in it instead of the same old.
And I can appreciate BPL now coming to the Bahamian people and saying, hey, now listen, we need y'all to kind of do X, Y, Z, but you got to tell us these peak hours and what's the timetable? Like, this is not an indefinite thing, like very whatever, especially for the businesses. I think they should be the first ones to step up. The government agencies step up, bring your power usage down first, lead by example, and then we take it from there.
It doesn't matter if EVs consume more or less energy. BGC was supposed to have a plan. Brave Davis and co. had that plan, and the plan should have been comprehended energy needs for 10 to 20 years. If the plan was crap and didn't include any research, why are we in this unholy deal?
At least, I mean, think about it, right?
Well,
you changing up.
I heard power stayed on in Yamakra all the time. Progress.
You have people buy in, you're encouraging one industry, but a critical resource may not be able to, critical infrastructure can't support it. That's crazy. That's bizarre.
It's like we need more information on what's going on. We need to be kept aware of what's going on. I don't think people understand the magnitude, like you say, the layers of this power provision. And when it's not provided correctly, people suffer. We know what it's like keeping medication cold. That has to be kept cold.
Yes, we do.
It's like dealing with situations where you need power provision from a business. There are people that go out there and work hard. They make their product and then they can't sell their product or refrigerate their product because why? The power's gone.
Yeah,
you got families that are on a budget and they go and spend their money on their food and they expect that food to last for 2 weeks or a month, and to keep the household full.
Yeah,
wasted.
Yep.
The myriad of appliances that have been ruined over the years, and they don't buy your appliance back. They give you a pittance on it, but they don't buy it back for you.
Yep. Good luck on that.
I'm telling you, if we don't get on this, and we have to stay on top of this. And if you have a minister that cannot, get the job done, then they need to move. Every ministry Kobe Davis has been in has had some issue or another or failed in one way or another. If Mr. Davis wants to talk about progress, let's show some progression. You haven't laid off any one of your ministers, even when they've done the most fool. Set that precedent under your administration, unlike the Christie administration you served under. Make some people resign or fire some people. You didn't just come up under Perry, you came up under Hubert too, brave. Pull a page out of his book and drop the axe. Make an example. That way Bahamians will believe in you a little more and say, you know what, he is committed to doing better because he made a decision.
Yeah, this Prime Minister...
One foot in and 1 foot out.
I don't think this Prime Minister wants...
My late colleague, Mr. Rodney Monka, we cannot continue to push it.
Yeah, I don't think this Prime Minister, he doesn't seem to have the appetite to do an outright I don't even know if he would do it if it's warranted, because some cases in the past warranted it and he didn't do it. The best you could hope for is a shuffle and they get someone else in there that still has, trust or can, engender trust from the public. And then we start to see some real leadership atop of this energy situation we have going on in the country.
Well, Mr. Producer sent me the signal that we've reached that time, MJ. 5:57 p.m. is the time. But for everybody who called in, texted in, chimed in, good stuff. We'll do it again tomorrow. Yes, MJ and I'll talk some sports. Pearlie will be in the 5 o'clock to talk some sports as well, too. But obviously, this was what the nation wanted to talk about, what you guys wanted to talk about. And obviously, we can't get any better unless we have these kind of conversations. And that's what we're here for. So everybody who chimed in, called in, texted in, good stuff. For MJ, from Mr. Producer, this is your boy Naughty. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Talking Heads.
You try to rest, roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For pins and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Buffalo Ranch, Dunk Buffalo Ranch. Get messy with it.
Dive in hot with the new KFC Dunk Buffalo Ranch.
Hey, Dunk Buffalo Ranch.
A crispy ranch chicken sandwich with buffalo sauce on the side.
Buffalo on the side. Buffalo on the side.
For just $8.95, get messy with it and dunk it how you want it. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Everybody dunk. Everybody ranch.
Running low on summer funds? Squeeze every drop of fun your summer with a Fidelity personal loan. From backyard upgrades to family getaways, Fidelity is here to help. Call 356-7764 today.
Fidelity, good for you.